song is going out to the whole world. I'm like Christian Slater and pump up the volume.
Now that you're comfortable at home in quarantine, take a moment to listen to Dave Matthews Band's Ants Marching. Picture yourself as one of those little ants.
Sit in the quiet and don't do anything. Hug a pillow, stretch out your legs. It's okay to stop. Just stop.
So, let's try a little experiment, shall we?
And don't work. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Just chill. I wait.
If you have it on vinyl, spin John Lennon's Imagine. If not, go to YouTube and dream about having a record collection.
Do something you love. Anything.
Stop and think about how much happier you are when you only do things that you love. How much happier are you? Staycation sounds a lot better than quarantine, doesn't it? You don't open bills or prepare taxes or take phone calls from bill collectors during a staycation. Take time to get off that Xbox, work on your garden, practice some origami.
Have a good cry. Get some tissues, if you have any on hand. Let's play some Joni Mitchell. How about both sides now? Listen for a moment, and then we can both move on.
Now, go clean your toilet. Get on your hands and knees, put on those gloves, and scrub it inside and out. Make sure you clean everything. And while you're at it, go clean the cat box too. Open that email from your lender. And the one from the electric company that says urgent. Answer that call from your sister.
What? You don't want to stop doing the things you love? You don't want to clean the toilet? You don't want to go inside the grocery store? You don't want to walk in and pick up your prescription? You don't want to do anything that causes exhaustion, stress, or anxiety? Well, guess what? No one does, Karen.
It's time for slavery to die. I know you're still processing, but do you understand?
Newsflash. Nothing says you're sorry for slavery more than finally ending it.
Let's listen to Prince's Let's Go Crazy. Stop. Think. Dance. And live with this knowledge. Would you be so concerned about losing the symbol of your wealth if you could keep your stuff, or get new stuff when you needed it, or get stuff for the first time?
How many of you ever land on both Boardwalk and Park Place? How long have we been playing this game? What if all of us could win at Monopoly? Think! Think bigger. What would happen if we just got rid of money?
That Monopoly money is as real as your bank account balance.
What would happen if your credit was unlimited because there was no such thing as credit?
What if we wanted to go to Paris? And you could just drop everything and go.
The only thing that stops us is a long-standing belief that some things are impossible and our united aversion to dirty work. We're not living in the same world anymore. The impossible is possible.
You could just do what you love every day if everybody would pull in the same direction.
Think about all the people with compromised immune systems that could be roaming free and healthy if we isolated every time an illness started to spread. Why hadn't we been isolated from the flu or the common cold? The answer is money.
You don't need money to buy anything. Money isn't even real. It's an idea. We measure the value of our accomplishments by how much money they make for us instead of how those accomplishments changed lives. You could replace dollars with bottle caps. It would be the same flawed concept, and we'd all have differing amounts of bottle caps in our pockets.
Guess what? If we got rid of money, we don't even need insurance. We just need everybody to care about everybody else. Wouldn't you rather be home doing needlework instead of having to tell somebody that they didn't elect to get flood coverage? Without money, we don't need health insurance. We don't need taxes. Without money, we don't need to pay to drive on a road. Without money, we don't have to pay for something that grows on this earth. Without money, there will be no calls from bill collectors or scammers. Without money, human life actually has value.
Evolve. We crawled out of the ocean a long time ago. But at this moment, we're still just wet sand castles on the beach that are getting swept right back in with the tide. Just like the dinosaurs.
The word you are looking for is abundance, not wealth. Abundance is living life like you're on vacation, but not to the detriment of your fellow man. Your vacation should not be possible because of the enslavement of others, but because everyone is on vacation. Everybody has their castle. I prefer a hobbit hole. Who's going to captain that ship? Who's going to fly that airplane? A team of excited robots. Someone who comes and to check on things every once in a while because they love that sort of thing. We'll call this robot expert Pat. Who will maintain these robots? Not Pat. Other robots do that. Jerry checks on those robots. Both Pat and Jerry get really cool homes like everybody else. Every once in a while, Pat and Jerry have really cool robot battles.
Worried about crime? Remove the reasons for crime. Rethink the definition of criminal. If you remove money, a lot of crimes will no longer exist or be necessary. Let that lawyer be the actor they wanted to be. Open those gates and let the victims of money out.
Remove the root of all evil. Remove the real crime. Nobody should be forced to do something they don't want to do. A person can be a victim of rape or a victim of rape of the mind and the heart.
If you've ever told a nurse who's out of work to get a better job, you're just feeding into a broken system that's holding you back. They have a better career, they make less money, and they do it out of love. You wish you had a better job. You wish you could play baseball, yet you're not a professional athlete, and you're mad at yourself, and you direct all that anger at someone else.
If you ever told anybody to fake it till you make it in this world where you have to take medications to feel happy, you're still plugged into a broken system.
You know, it's time they made self-cleaning toilets, Karen. They make really fancy cat boxes that clean themselves. Only problem is, nobody can afford them. Who didn't flush?
chasing this carrot. We can all have this carrot. How? You could grow it in your backyard. My dad says you can even grow a pot there too. And vegetables. And fruit. Well, if you could afford to buy the seeds. We could have the seeds for free, you know? All we have to do is be heard. Don't have a backyard? That's okay. Let's all put our heads together and figure out a way to make that happen. Don't worry, we've got time. There are a lot of public parks with room for community gardens, and at that, maybe we could even get rid of all those pesticides that are killing all those wonderful pollinating bees. You know what? I bet you that farmers in Iowa just want to grow their own crops. Oh, does that make you worry you'll starve? Hate to break it to you, but that's because you're plugged in. That's because of fear and anxiety. You can grow your own garden, and Sam the robot can tend to it for you, while you write an opera and your sprinkler system waters your garden with water you don't have to pay for. Ah, what a perfect life.
Worried your house won't be nicer than your neighbor's? That's because you've been taught to find reasons to hate people, so you won't feel bad about having more than them. Everybody can have that big house, or an apartment, or a cabin, whatever they want. They can build a blanket fort. If you've ever told someone to grow up, you are in the Matrix, Karen. Everybody dresses up on Halloween. Play Michael Jackson's Thriller. Turn it up. Money is out to get us, and we're fighting for our lives. It's Thriller night. It's the night we say no to adulting. We don't like it, Sam I am. That doesn't mean we stop being responsible or helpful. If children can do it, so can we.
Nobody has to die. We could all wipe out illness and disease by sitting down. Why haven't we been isolated in order to eliminate the flu or the common cold? How many artists would still be alive today if we had stopped everything to find out how to cure their disease the moment it came into existence? Personally, I would love to have some more Freddie Mercury music. Are you tired of taking the medication? Isn't it time for a cure? Radio Gaga, Queen. Why do we have to grow up at all? Why couldn't life be fun all the time until and unless someone dies? Earth is your neighborhood. The universe is your world. There's more out there than your neighborhood.
When your loved ones die, you'll know they lived a long and happy life. The best life possible.
You know what? Can't Sam the robot do that job that you hate? Don't be afraid of the Terminators, people! You know what? You should be more concerned that you are in the Matrix itself. You are plugged into money. Because there are jobs out there that you don't want to do. Enslaved people didn't want to build the pyramids. Enslaved people didn't want to work the fields. It's not fair. People with money have been telling us that our passion is an impossible dream. not wanting to do the hard work that you do not want to do is laziness. Pure laziness. But real laziness comes from apathy.
Couldn't a computer do that job? They already correct your spelling. Alexa makes a great writing partner. Why do you keep doing the things you don't want to do and complain about not having the time to do the things you love?
It's been said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You're always running and running towards a paradise that is always just out of reach, and dreams of doing things you love never come to pass, because we're all running on the same hamster wheel.
Sometimes the joy gets sucked out of the stuff you normally would find joy in, because you are restricted and boxed in by money. You have deadlines to meet, a budget, a board of directors, the expectations of your clients or audience, and that of those holding the purse strings. What if everything could be a passion project? What if nothing had to be rushed? What if you didn't have to take that one job to survive? Think about what would happen if everybody could create without having to limit themselves to someone else's expectations or the knowledge that their lives depended upon it. Maybe you could even come out of the closet and be proud of your true, authentic self. Wouldn't cost you your job. You wouldn't have one.
Homeless people protested the system by sitting down. We drive past them and mock them as lazy, drunken, or even insane. If you really try to comprehend the mind-floating dichotomy of the simplicity of the idea of an established utopia versus the enormity of the challenge it would take to accomplish it, you would be homeless too. Or stuck in your house during a quarantine.
Anybody who refuses to do the tough jobs, if they can't do something better, is protesting. They are not lazy. Their soul doesn't want to be held captive. Your soul is the one that is captive. You're in purgatory. You're in limbo. Let's play David Bowie's Starman. Go outside tonight and look up to the sky and see how big your world is. You've never thought it was possible to travel to those stars. It would cost too much money. How far could we get with no money? You would need a lot of beans to go to another galaxy. The idea of heaven is the only thing for a lot of people to look forward to. Think on that. People are waiting for heaven to come to earth, and the only way to make that happen is by creating a utopia. It was never possible before, but we are living in different times. People die begging for death, even if they are unsure of what is up or down because of the life our world created for them.
Heaven shouldn't be a reward for a miserable life. It should be the beginning of another great adventure.
Refusing to work, doing something you hate, is a subconscious protest, which we first feel as children. But our journey to adulthood takes away the truth that can only come from an innocent mind that does not yet understand the concept of money. Children aren't born with money in their hands, but will die with rings on their fingers and bury them under the ground instead of giving them to people in need.
It is a subconscious protest that has been going on through the ages, unheard, because the voices of all those who did not want to clean that truck-stop bathroom, or to build that pyramid, or to work in that field, have been overpowered by the deafening noise of the laziness of the already comfortable, or the almost comfortable.
The first loss of innocence is understanding that money gets you what you want. And without it, you get nothing. The moment we start dreaming of having it all is the moment we stop being ourselves. Your value as a human being is evident in your clothing, your hair, and your overall appearance. Because the more money that you have, the better you look. Your parents could yell at you all they wanted about you cleaning your room, but you would not budge until they offered you a reward or threatened you with a belt. Your allowance is your first paycheck. Allowances are fun. You can buy toys with them, like the ones in your Happy Meals. But it would have been so much cooler just to have Sam the robot clean your room for you and have your parents around all day to play with you. And when you turned 18, there would be no more time for toys and no more money left over after paying the bills.
We're gonna listen to Bob Dylan's Blowin' in the Wind. Take it all in. Don't worry about the teachers. Teachers love to teach. You don't pay them enough to do it for the money. They do it for love.
You know, what if we all decided we didn't want those unwanted jobs anymore? What? The robots are taking your job? You didn't even want it anyways. You hit snooze on your alarm 10 times to go to work. I mean, do we even need an alarm to do the things we love?
Think about those people that are out there still risking their own health for a paycheck. You write posts thanking them for their bravery. They are doing it to keep the electricity on, and many of them will die, Karen. That is what privilege means.
Nobody has to do the hard work anymore. You don't even need those jobs you hate. If we focused our attention on how to fix the problems, we could. Take away money and see how many unwanted jobs disappear. Make education free for everybody and allow the planet to educate itself collectively and see how many things we can solve together. Allow more people to become experts in subjects and then reduce the workday to an amount that feels stress-free and doable. We can figure out how to solve this.
What would you do with no debt, no mortgage, no rent, no car payments, no job you hated, no student loans, but unlimited education and only an open road ahead of you? Go ahead, get that Tesla, get that light bulb that will never burn out, put on that play, run that community theater, and don't even worry about the electricity or the bills. Find only like-minded people, people like you, people who think like you, people who paint models like you. Go out, garden, figure out how to get all the trash out of the ocean. And then, once you've gotten it all, figure out how to make art out of what you've hauled. What would you do if you could have all of that, if you could have everything you've ever dreamed, in a civilized society to boot? A civilized society with no crime, no murder, no rape, no hate, nothing. How hard are you willing to work? Would you give up a little bit of your dreams now so that your children could have the kind of life that you can only dream of? They could grow up to be who they really want to be, who they are now behind closed doors without any limitations, just like you wish you could.
What if we could teach the world to be good people without the need for money? What if people are really good, and the money has been telling you to be scared of what would happen if it were taken away? That dollar drives everything. That dollar keeps us out there working. That dollar makes us feel apathetic to people dying. They become numbers.
Equal equals equal. It's simple. In any other form of measurement, equal equals equal. Why not with happiness? Every person will be equal when everyone is born under the same circumstances and into the same conditions. That would only be possible in a socialist society. I'm kidding. Socialism sucks. Sorry, Bernie. You're almost there. Just take the money out of it and still let us have cool stuff and free healthcare run by robots. And we want hoverboards and flying cars too. And sorry, Mr. President, but capitalism sucks too. The hardest working people get the least amount of cool stuff, and if things stay the way they are, we'll never get hoverboards and I'll get audited next year. But I'm willing to make the sacrifice and speak my mind for future happiness of others. I'm taking a risk and suggesting revolution. The pursuit of happiness sucks. Getting other people to do your work for you is not hard work. The real answer is utopia. That would be the true revolution. But are either of you ready to create a paradise? Are any of our world leaders or politicians ready to think big?
Breathe. Janis Joplin gave us a really good version of Summertime, but I don't want you to hear hers yet. We're playing some Ella Fitzgerald. Listen to the words. Look up the lyrics on Google. Read those lyrics. Then we'll play the Janis version. They are the same song. Do you hear the message the same way?
Listen to Blackbird by the Beatles. Da, 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 da. Has that bird ever flown? Or is humanity lined up on electric lines like a cloud full of grackles, our eyes to the ground, not seeing the heavens above?
We have been taught that every enjoyable thing in this world is a thing for hobbies, vacations, and frivolity. But these are the things we live for. We work all year for that vacation if we're lucky. Some of us don't get vacations at all. We teach ourselves to hate people who are different, to justify not feeling bad about letting them do the dirty work, the things we don't want to do. You don't have to see them as human or even worry about their well-being if you're busy hating them for being different. It's easier to justify hate speech that way, regardless of who you are, regardless of your political affiliation.
Sit down and protest. Because slavery isn't dead if a person can't stay home and keep themselves from dying if they want to keep the electricity on. Slavery isn't dead if your boss doesn't care enough about your life to tell you to stay home because they want their electricity to stay on too.
What about the nurses and doctors, you say? Well, now is about the time you hope they all have a conscience and they are doing it because it is something they love. Wouldn't it be nice if they didn't have to work those crazy hours? What if we could eradicate so many illnesses and diseases and addictions that our nurses and doctors could stay home every once in a while? What if a robot could dispense that medication or do that surgery? What if we had a robot at home that could diagnose and cure all illnesses? What if one day we didn't need medications? Think big. Bigger.
But who will bet you can bag your own groceries, Karen? And you can use self-checkout. Let as many people go home as possible right now.
What about the guys remodeling my house? Them too, Karen. Let them go home. Let them live. We can get to that stuff later.
It would be really easy for that electricity to stay on. All that we need is the person with their finger on the button to just sit down and chill and think. That goes for you too, internet button guy.
What could we make out of this world if we didn't have to do somebody else's dirty work?
What could we accomplish if nothing had a cost and everybody could be comfortable and happy? How many tattoos would you get? How often would you go to the movies? How often would you make a movie? So what if you just wanted to go to the store in your pajamas? Who would stop you? Nobody. And it won't matter because everybody's happier in pajamas. So put on that protest onesie, be your inner child, and set an example.
What cures could be invented? Who did you love that could still be alive? Who lives now that you want to keep alive?
Only your body is glued to the ground. We are our souls. Our souls are free to fly. Glue your body to the ground and save your neighbor. Save the world.
Let the earth breathe, people. Let it heal. Please.
Let's listen to another Michael Jackson song. This time it's Wanna Be Startin' Something. Listen to it before the next part.
Nobody has created utopia up till this point because it's the hardest job we will ever have. It will take all of us doing it together to make it happen. It's the biggest toilet and the biggest, nastiest truck stop in all of Georgia, but we all have to do it together. Put on your gloves, hold your breath, and clean up this mess. Do it for your children. If you have the right to, vote. If you don't have the right to vote, ask yourself why. Put your feet on the ground, stand up, put your hand on your heart and be counted. Vote by staying inside and blowing up social media. Vote by being unafraid of using your own voice. Be brave, be bold. Vote to be counted. Vote to be appreciated. Vote to be equal. Vote because you are essential. Vote for your own happiness. It's about time.
Now listen to David Bowie's Modern Love and pay close attention to those first words. It almost feels like he knew this was going to happen.
Let's think about how we can make this happen together. Throw away all the jokes about flying cars and hoverboards, if that makes it any easier to believe. Instead, what we have to do is quit working ourselves to death over trying to acquire Park Place or Boardwalk.
We hold this to be the truth, and sadly not evident, that times can change, and that all humans, no matter where they come from, are created equal.
That they have every right to a comfortable and long life filled with joy and happiness and with everything they need to do so. Where they don't have to take medications to feel or think they are happy or sane when they have every right to be crazy.
Giving someone the right to the pursuit of happiness is not the same as giving them happiness. Never was, never will be. That's like giving them the right to compete in the Hunger Games. Maybe they'll be the ones that get out alive and will be happy and get the big house and everything they ever need. Or maybe they'll be the ones that are taught to hate everyone so that they don't have to feel bad about them having less or nothing at all.
The pursuit of happiness is an excuse for hatred, racism, sexism, bigotry, homophobia, and every other way of thinking that is outdated, ungodly, and immoral. It's the reason for murder and genocide. It is the reason for rape. It is the reason for child molestation, for theft, for war, for concentration camps. It is the reason that planes get flown into buildings. It is the reason for terrorism. Stop the pursuit of happiness. Give everybody their happiness, and every bad thing dies out.
Okay, last song. Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. Play it loud and see if you can remember all the moves. If you don't know them, ask your mother.
Remember, kids, equal equals equal. Equal equals equal is easy to write in graffiti. Be nice and get permission first, though. It has to be real art. No more hiding. Be proud of your art. This is a new age. I'm thinking of building a graffiti wall in the backyard. You can paint the thing all you want.